Hold your horses, kids. This ain't your daddy's Fender Mexico anymore. Giddy up, Jonathan. It's me, Baxter.
I love to giddy up. And me, Jonathan. Do people really hold their horses anymore? Does anyone understand that? Probably
not. It's an old term.
What percentage of Americans do you think have been on a horse at this point in history?
Not many.
Not many.
Not
That's
many.
fine.
So, the quality of Fender Mexico. Right now, in the year 2024, I hate to say this, we might have been wrong.
It's as good as you can hope for. No, it's good.
No, it's good. Okay, so we've been pretty abashedly honest about things when we see manufacturers like dropping balls and everything. But damn, it's like Fender Mexico has stepped up.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened down there over the past I think it's been something that's been happening over the past year and a half to few months with the transitioning. But the payoff is in the guitars now, and we're seeing some of the best made in Mexico Fender guitars we've ever seen.
Yeah. Like?
We're going to talk about them right now. Number one.
The old Mike McCready.
It's like, that guitar is so good. You know, we just sold one to a gentleman. He was so nice. But when we were, Derek, our guy behind the cameras, he's not wearing a shirt today, so he's off camera. But he was playing one the other day, and he was like, I like this one better than this guitar here. I'm like, but that's a custom shop. He's like, yeah, I think I like this one though. I'm like,
they're good guitars, man. I think
That's
we were
really
talking.
cool.
I think I'd rather have that guitar than an American Pro, and maybe
I'd rather have it than a mod shop. 100%.
Yeah, totally.
Because I know it's being built for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of American guitars. I'd probably choose that over. It'd be hard to say I'd choose it over a custom shop. You know?
No, I mean, no. But if I was on a financial thing, and I was like, I want to get a great amp and a great guitar, Mike McCready's in the target range for it.
For sure.
It sort of itches that custom shop itch a bit.
It's got the relic thing.
But it sounded, and the fit and finish on it was what really sort of blew us all away.
Right.
And I'd say even better than the first batch of Mike McCready's.
The first batch was okay. All those subsequent ones have been very, very okay. I'm just kidding. Very good.
I was still processing on when he says subsequent. I was like, I've never heard of that said that way. I was like, that's cool. Subsequent instead of subsequent. I like that.
Subsequent. Is that how you say it?
I think so. But how do the British say it? Because they say everything differently.
I don't know.
Correctly, but differently.
Is it correctly?
Well, because they said it. They've been the words. So yes, I think we say it incorrectly because we're Yanks.
That's fair.
I just have to go. Jason Isabel, guitar number 2. It's also in the relic land. Slightly, not as bad as Mike's, but it's one of those. If you're looking for the equivalent of that in a Tele,
that's when I'd actually like to I'd like to have that guitar.
You
That's
talked
a cool
about
guitar.
it at one point, I think.
My only qualm with the first few we saw is they were heavy. You know,
they are heavy. The Mike McCready's were not that heavy. The Jason Isabels were a bit heavier, I remember.
And that's probably not. Well, it may be across the board. I don't know. We only had a few, but man, good guitars. They look awesome. They sounded and played great.
Now let's jump into this. So why are we saying it's so great right now? It's not because we got a truckload of Fender Mexicans we got to sell. It's honestly we don't carry that many. It's honestly Fender's had its problems. With some of the production queue, we trumpeted for years. If you're in that price range, we're get a Classic Vibe Squire.
Over a Player, series.
Classic Vibe Squire over Players. Classic Vibe Squire.
And I don't know that
time.
Players Plus made sense for a lot of folks. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a tricky price range too, because
right.
They're in that sort of $1,200 range now. And Mike's a little bit more, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's such a substantial leap.
I think it's a much better guitar. Some of that is maybe our bent, we like the kind of vintage vibes, and we like the relic, and we like the, that sort of nitro thing. So, I get that.
We're ugly, and we like things that look ugly. So if you don't like ugly
shiny new things to point out our flaws.
No, but Fender's had its issues with that, their production schedule. I think they've changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
And and they were just grinding out, just printing guitars during the pandemic.
Right.
They were just pedal to the metal, full court press. Blitz. I'm doing all sorts of sports things now. It's exciting because I saw the Super Bowl. It's the one sporting event
Blitz.
I watched of the year.
Sports balls.
Sports balls. But no, they were grinding things. And when that level of production gets up with any of the manufacturers, it's hard to keep level of QC. We noticed some fret issues, some neck issues, some curing we thought was some of the finishing. It was just, it wasn't up to what we consider like, you know, top. And then now everything that's come in lately,
pretty darn good.
we have one that should be arriving. I think it's a road worn like 50s butterscotch blonde. Something I just saw it just shipped and it's on its way.
Oh,
like
so
Telly.
The Ventera.
Yeah, like
series,
something like that. They're doing like a limited edition run of that just for like independent dealers, I think, and we were able to get a couple.
That's
I'm
another
excited.
one. The Ventera, I think on the whole, pretty cool. I think it gets overlooked sometimes.
It does get
it's
overlooked.
in that weird. Again, it's kind of like the Players Plus. It's in that weird spot. But I think the road worn Venteras in the beginning, like they got much better as time went on a little bit. Seems to me. Like,
No, because at first they were a little bit and then the next batches were great, and then they
well, it's
canceled
like you
it.
said, some really right. So, like, you know, the first batches were like sharp frets, like little things like that, right? Where maybe these were rushed, and then all that sort of seemed to get ironed out, and they were.
It goes back to some of the original Brad Paisleys. I remember when some of those first hit, like I felt like the finishing on the necks hadn't finished yet.
Because they were everybody would be like, man, it's so sticky.
It was sticky, and the smell was so strong too.
Right.
It was just it hadn't cured or something. It was a strange moment. But now back in the day, let's do a little history on Fender Mexico too. Not like a deep dive history. That's a whole other video. But Fender, like, you know, we used to go to Fender Mexico as like our really baseline, cheap, affordable entry guitar. Squire was something we didn't think of, and so those. I mean,
I would never.
Come to Merle Fest and say that and tell us about Taylor guitars, please. But no, it's something that has changed now. That's what's not. It's not the Fender of yesteryear where that's like the basic. There's some of the best guitars Fender's making right now are coming from the Mexican factory. Same with like some of the other manufacturers, like Taylor Guitars. Some of our favorite hits, the GS Mini. We always play GS Minis. I see one on the wall over there too. I'm going to grab it later and play with it.
Coming from Mexico.
Mexico. No, so it's nice that Fender is sort of like linked up with the QC that we're getting in some of like their higher, you know, the flagship lines of, you know, just either USA production or the custom shop even. And that it always does filter down. Sometimes it takes time. I think there's the bumps with COVID. So we're thrilled with what we're seeing right now.
Well, I'm glad that, you know, obviously prices are up there too. So I'm glad that it wasn't like, oh, we'll raise prices, but it's the same stuff. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see that, okay, if you're going to pay this much for a guitar made in Mexico, it should be really good. It should be phenomenal.
Well,
and I think, you know.
No, right, because you are. There's a premium for these, like the Mike McCready's and the Jason Isabels and the George Harrison. I almost forgot that guy from the Beatles name. But that was an expensive guitar that sold out immediately. We couldn't even get any more. I think we got one and it was like, like one. I don't know if they just misallocated production or if they just didn't anticipate the demand on it, that people were willing to pay $2,000 plus.
Well, man, when the Paisleys came out, they were expensive for at the time. Remember how we all talked about that?
I can't remember how much they were.
Were they like $1,200?
I guess. Oh, in my mind, they were so much cheaper. That is true.
And we were like, man, that's a lot. But you know, it had the what is it, Powell Wiener, or however you say that wood, the really light body, super light.
If you blow on it, it could chip.
And it was relic, and it was sparkle. I see those now like pop up used, and it seems like they got a pretty good cult following kind of thing.
Yeah, they exist out there.
People dig them. So
no, so if you haven't dipped in, got your feet wet a little bit with old Fender Mexico, it's we're gonna give you a thumbs up for most of the stuff we're seeing out there. It's pretty. I'm gonna give it a solid thumbs up.
Thumb and a half.
Yeah, because we had a thumb like this for a long time. It really was. It was like Anybody came in the store like I don't know, but now it's like give them like, you know.
You almost forgot the Mexican Acoustasonic.
I did forget that. I did forget that.
Maybe it was on purpose. Just when you did this, it reminded me. I was like,
I don't know. God, who was I seeing? Like, God, I saw this Neil Diamond tribute band. He was playing a Acoustasonic Jazzmaster.
Yeah, just like Metallica.
No, I just thought it was so funny because I was talking to him before the show. He's like, I just bought this. I treated myself to New Guitar Day, and I just bought this. I was like, cool. I didn't let him know I had a guitar store or anything. I just sort of started giggling a bit.
That's probably good.
But unfortunately, the rest of the people in the forum like, oh, Baxter owns a guitar shop. Like, we don't carry Fender. Don't worry about it.
We don't believe in that.
Don't worry about it. No, I was just having some fun with them. But no, it's Yeah, I think that's all we got. So check them out. If you got questions, hey, fire them to us. Check any of your like local authorized dealers too. Go if you're in the UK, go by Peach, go by Anderton's. They got everything. They have it all right now. If you're in the USA, you're anywhere near the shops that are like, I think Wildwood is opening back to the public a little
Are they
bit.
really?
I heard that maybe a little bit
That's kind of big news. They've been close to the public for
years
Yeah.
at this point. You know, go by Semia, they've got it all. Go by Music Villa, go by Sims. Don't go by Chuck Levin's because they're usually having a salsa dance. It's awkward. That's it. Click like, subscribe.
Pistols and salsa everywhere. Hit the bell.
Pistols and salsa. Carl's like, hey, round up the Fenders.
Dancing, dipping,
And he's not even from Mexico. Close, but not there. I'm not gonna say where he's from. I have some love there as well. That's all. Thank you for joining us. Peace be with you all. Viva la Mexico. And that's it.